How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for accommodating my crazy schedule. I apologize about
No,
yesterday
thank
morning.
you for being open to rescheduling. So how much time do
Yeah,
we have
absolutely.
so I know how fast exactly I have to speak?
We got about 10 to 15 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. So, well then, why don't we just start with if you could tell me a little
Sure.
bit about just a brief history of your background as far as like UMS and Westward, and then kind of
Sure.
leading up to this.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2015, I became for Westwood Music Showcase, their showcase coordinator there, where I kind of helped wrangle up the bands and sifted through the nominating committee and kind of what the band selection process for Western Music Showcase is.
Mhm.
And then I did that again in 2016. And
Okay.
about a couple days after that ended, I was contacted by then event director for the UMS, Kendall Smith, to kind of come in and help him out on a couple last minute things leading up to 2016's Underground Music Showcase.
Cool.
And at that point, I just, kind of jumped ship from Westward and went full time with all my efforts on the Underground Music Showcase.
Right.
It's always been something that has been like super close to my heart, and has had always been my favorite music festival, and the weekend that I always looked forward to pretty
Mhm.
much every summer. And so in 2017, I became the one of the talent buyers, and then just kind of like an event coordinator, kind of helping put the festival together from the ground up, and kind of stepping in any which way possible that was needed as far as getting the showcase going. And then
Mhm.
back in the end of 2017, I somehow convinced my bosses at Two Parts to buy this music festival,
Yeah.
and as a result of that, I became the event director for the Underground Music Showcase.
That's some pretty, that's pretty convincing. You have some skills
Yeah.
there, I guess. Um so how is this different from what you've planned prior to as far as
It's
yeah, with two parts and
Sure. So this is Two Parts really big, like first foray into the music scene, so to speak, and music festivals. We've always had a little bit of a music component or element in just about every music or just every event that we do as a
Mhm.
company. But we had kind of been toying around with the idea of, do we start our own thing? What really should we
Right.
do moving forward? Because my passions are in music and have been forever, really, and that kind of thing. And we this opportunity presented itself with Kendall, the former executive director, stepping out, and
Mhm.
the festival not really knowing what's going to happen next. And it seemed like the right time for us to kind of come in and essentially save this thing to keep it going. And
Yeah.
so it's definitely our first foray into this, and it's a very exciting thing and a little bit scary. I'll be the first to admit
I
that,
can, I can imagine.
um,
It is a big deal.
but
I'm not even a Denver native, and
yeah,
every time I tell someone about this, they're like, "Oh, oh, Denver, I'm gonna
yeah,
be there," and I'm like, "Okay, all right."
yeah. And so
So
yeah,
how did?
it's been really great thus far, as far as introducing a music festival into my team. That
Yeah.
really there's only a couple of us that have a lot of music festival experience, but basically trying to take everything else that Two Parts does in the food and
Yeah.
beverage world, and event planning and experiential marketing and all that kind of stuff, to be able to inject that into this music festival has been really an amazing thing to kind of just watch unfold in front of me, and watch everybody else's minds, the way that they work and how they're able to
Mhm.
contribute here or there to making sure that this is going to be a really successful and awesome weekend. So it's been pretty great.
So how do you think? Cause that leads me into my next question. How do you think that's going to add to the fan and band experience, the history that Two Parts has? So how is that
I
going to
think it's
kind of
only
benefit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really gonna to help the festival. Like with an
Mhm.
elevated food and beverage program. We've got a dream beer sponsor with Oscar Blues coming in, who just
Yeah.
really understands what it takes to be a partner in a music festival, but also, we share the same beliefs and morals and business ethics and things of that nature. And, everything that Oscar Blues does is helping me be better at our festival and vice versa. And so it's a really good partnership all around.
Is there any drastic difference that the fans are going to see this year, other than I guess your relationships with the different vendors? Is there anything else that they're going to see that's done differently?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, you can experience a lot of different things this year. We've upped it from 1 outdoor stage to 4 total outdoor stages. One completely dedicated to podcast and comedy, which is a first for the festival. It's something that we're all really looking forward to.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, and that's really a very exciting piece of this that I couldn't be more excited about, which is really awesome. But we've partnered with a lot of people, like 303 Magazine. They created what's called the Underground, and throughout the weekend they're going to be hosting a bunch of unique special pop-ups that I wish I could give you more details on. But all I would say is, stay tuned to that and subscribe.
Okay.
And you'll get all those updates and all that good stuff. But those guys have been really awesome to work with as well, and just as much as I'm planning, they're doing the same thing on their end as far as putting together a lot of unique and experiential pop-ups that'll take place throughout the weekend. So there's going to be a lot more to do. Like, obviously the root of the festival is in music and things of that nature, but what we're putting together is another reason for you to come down and hang out, and that's to experience all the various pop-ups and things we've planned and put together throughout the weekend. Starting at noon pretty much on Saturday and Sunday to going through the end of the evening.
That sounds great. That's kind of one of the things I miss about living in New York is that, every weekend you could just turn a corner and something was going on. And
exactly.
And, and I like that this is exactly what that sounds like. You never know what you're going to get, so that's pretty exciting.
And that's kind of a little bit of it that we're leaving a little bit up to surprise as far as what we're planning and what we've got in store for everybody is kind of like, stay tuned and just come along for the ride.
Now, there's definitely like a history as far as like breakout stars from, this festival. This is kind of 2 parts. Is there any band in particular that you're excited to see, and are there any that you think that we should look out for? Because sometimes that's different.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a double-edged sword for me. But I will say that this year I could not be more proud of what the talent team put together as far as what this lineup is. There's a little bit of something for everybody. I mean, that's the whole point of this music festival is that it's a discovery festival. So you can pop into any venue at any time throughout the day and hopefully be able to check something out either that you like, that you've never seen or heard before, and you might catch your ear. But, I mean, the bands that on all the outdoor stages, were carefully picked and crafted to make sure that they made sense, and that's going to be a really unique and diverse lineup. But, I mean, I could rattle off about 100 bands to you that I would say do not miss, but a couple of those ones there's a young band called Oxydaisy that's a really up-and-coming band that I would do whatever I could if I was an attendee to make sure that I made that show.
Okay.
But then there's a guy on Saturday night his name is Rum Tom. He's also going to be doing some live art painting for us at the Imagination activation. And one of his favorite things every summer is the UMS. So I know he's working on something really special for us this year, which is going to be pretty awesome. But, as far as the bands coming in on the main stages and all that stuff, got Diggable Planets coming back for...
I know.
Yeah, which is really exciting.
That brought me way back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I was in a lift this morning, and the driver was asking me who was playing and whatnot, and I said Diggable Planets, and it was like they were baffled, and, they immediately were like, well, now I got to go buy a ticket, which was pretty cool to see. But, Always is a really great not up-and-coming, they're just a powerhouse in the indie world right now. Deer Hunter, Classic Standard, and Mothers, Madge, Overcoats, Classics, Escort. I mean, the list goes on. Like I said, there's not a bad a bad band on there to be able to that you wouldn't enjoy yourself, and that's the hope too, is that we put a little bit of something for everybody that hopefully
even when I was going through it looked like the lineup was amazing. I didn't even, sometimes you try to look up the bands and you're like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, but I looked up all of the performance. I was like, oh, this is a good song and this is a good song, so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we introduced this like a Spotify app integration thing into this year's schedule on our homepage and all that kind of stuff. So you can click and immediately listen to a band to check it out because when you see 350 plus bands, it's a little daunting. But
Right.
hopefully we took care of that, so you'll be able to at least check it out ahead of time. We put together a really nice playlist of everybody as well that kind of details what to expect and all that good stuff. So yeah,
well, I know you're crunched for time. Is there any last words or information you think that we should know?
I would just stay tuned to all our social media outlets and all that good stuff. Just stay tuned to all those updates and things that are happening throughout the weekend. And I'm excited for everybody to come out and see what we put together.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely.
And definitely.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course, of course. Everyone, I want you to stay tuned for the Underground Music Showcase that is July 27th through the 29th in South Broadway, Denver, Colorado.
That's
All right.
right.
Well,